What's up everybody, today I want to talk about one of the best sorcerer leveling builds in Season 2, and it's a Crackling Energy lightning build. This build has it all. It's incredibly fast with high movement speed, teleporting, it's got huge damage, massive AoE damage, you can literally attack the whole screen at once, and there's just lightning going everywhere. This build is so strong, so fast, it's incredibly fun, and it just looks good. This might be one of my favourite leveling builds in Season 2 so far. Overall, Sorcerer is in a pretty good place, much better than it was previously, and with the changes to Crackling Energy, this build just works. It's just so fun. So let's go over the playstyle and how it works. So this is a Crackling Energy build. So you pick up these balls and then they automatically go out and attack enemies. And it's just about chaos. You just have as much lightning on screen as possible, triggering stuns, triggering different things, triggering other abilities, lowering your cooldown and bringing your mana back. And it just works really well. So you set up with your basic attack. You've got teleport to get around. You've got Frost Nova to make things vulnerable and keep things in place. And then you just chain lightning the screen. You just chain lightning everything. And then when your ultimate comes up, you just let out this elemental chaos everywhere and everything on the screen just goes down and it just feels so satisfying. So let's get into the build, starting with the aspects. And I want to mostly use codex aspects because, you know, when you're leveling, this is a leveling build and it's easy to just go to a dungeon, get the aspect and just imprint it on your gear rather than hunt down and target a specific legendary that make or breaks the build. So let's go over them and we'll focus mostly on codex ones. So the first two I'm going to go over are the rings because these are probably the most important. The recharging band, the recharging aspect, is each time chain lightning bounces, you gain mana. That's huge, and it's a codex one, so it's really easy to get. Then you've got the prodigies aspect, using a cooldown restores a chunk of mana. So again, that's on the codex, and if you find a better version, then that's great. But these two are like gonna make sure that you can completely funnel out chain lightning non-stop. You can just go crazy with chain lightning when you've got these two because your mana just keeps coming back. All of these things are cooldowns, so as you use them, you're getting loads and loads of mana back. And then some other good ones are the charged aspect, where you collect Crackling Energy, increases your movement speed. This is really good for just getting around fast. You know, this is a leveling build. You're going to be going through the world really fast, and you're going to be picking up a ton of Crackling Energy, so you're just going to be faster, which is just a win-win. And it's a codex one, so there's you know, it's a great one to have. Then the control, you deal increased damage to immobilize, stunned, or frozen enemies. Now you're going to be stunning them a lot because this is an electric build, so you know, the main thing is stun, and then you're going to be freezing because we have Frost Nova. So that means that 30% more damage happens quite a lot, which is really useful. And again, it's in the codex. And then finally, I would say this one's pretty good if you can fit it in. A lightning spear has a % chance to spawn an additional lightning spear when you cast it. So this is quite useful if you can get it on a one-hander to go next to. I've got the build, I'll link it down below of where I'd put everything. But yeah, if you can imprint that on the one-hander to go with this, that's really good. Like an offhand on a one-hand works really well. And that's kind of the best codex things you can pick up. With Season 2, we also get a new one that goes into the codex for completing Chapter 2 of the seasonal journey kind of thing, and that's the stable aspect. This is really useful, so I'd say, you know, finish Chapter 2, get this, and then use that as well. And that's kind of like the basic setup. That's pretty much everything you can get while you level. That will make you regain mana faster, have good synergy with your different spells, and just be able to really move around and deal a lot of damage fast. And then the legendaries that I would be looking out for as you play to kind of like top off this build would be the Overwhelming Currents is one you would definitely want to be looking for. Unstable Currents has a % chance to cast an additional shock skill. This is really good, probably one of my favorites on this build, so I definitely look for that. And then the number one legendary to look for, if you can find it, would be the Unbroken Tether. Chain lightning has a % chance to chain 4 additional times. When you've got everything on screen and you're throwing out constant chain lightnings, that damage increase is phenomenal. So that's what I definitely look for. Again, you don't need legendaries to make or break this build. You can do it with codex and the basic spells. Everything works really well with the changes to chain lightning, with the changes to Crackling Energy. So yeah, this works as a package itself, but this just pumps that damage up. The only other thing I would try and get on the chest is the Audacity aspect, which stuns enemies close to you, or if you're lucky enough, you can try and get the Raiment of the Infinite, which brings them in as well. But you can have Audacity there, which is fine. Again, I'll link down below how I would set up the pieces on what, but yeah, most of it's with the codex. Okay, now onto the skill tree. So I've deleted it all out and we'll go through it together. So first up, you want to take Spark and then Enhance Spark, and then you want to go for Flickering. So each time it hits, there's a chance to form a Crackling Energy. This is a Crackling Energy build, so this is great. There is an idea you could use this for better crit, but I think just more Crackling Energy is great because there's a lot of synergies with the movement speed and the damage, and it just works really well. And then into the thing that this build is based around, Chain Lightning. So I've got a few already from my items, but you want a 5 out of 5 Chain Lightning straight away, and then you want to enhance it, which makes it increase crit. And then you have a choice down here. I really like going here for destructive because it has a 30% chance to form a crackling energy. Okay, then you want to go and get your other abilities. So you want to go and get teleport because this is a leveling build and this is movement. It's great. Reduce cooldown. And then I like this one. After 4 seconds after teleporting, crackling energy hits 2 additional enemies. This is huge because crackling energy is the main part of this build, and that's just a great thing. If you're going to take this build further than like level 1 to 50, you're going to try and push it into nightmare dungeons, I think you would have to switch to this because the damage reduction is pretty amazing. But for leveling, yeah, go for this. I'm going to be using this as long as I can. Then you want to go down to Frost Nova and grab that. Again, we're just putting 1 point in these because they're not damage dealers. And, you know, we don't really need to get the cooldown down drastically, which you get for putting more points in. We just want to unlock them. And then I would go for this here. Frost Nova makes enemies vulnerable. There is if you're really struggling for mana and, you know, maybe you're just starting and you haven't gone and got those two aspects to put on your rings that give mana back, you can use this for a while. But I think this is better, especially when you start proper building it out and you've got everything you need to keep your mana up. Then as you come down here, you want to get Lightning Spear. If there's anything you would think of getting rid of on this build, it would be Lightning Spear. I'm not the biggest fan of Lightning Spear, but hey, it's okay. And then you enhance it. And again, Lightning Spear stuns enemies for 2 seconds when critically striking. That's really, really good. Again, you could do this, but I just don't think Lightning Spear has the damage. The only way you could justify this is if you were maybe to put 5 points into this, but I just don't think it's worth it. Then down here, we don't touch the masteries. So I don't think Ball Lightning's really worth it. If you can have like the one where it goes around you, that's good, but I don't think it's worth it here. So I'd just start picking up some of the passives. I'd go 3 into there, and then upon absorbing Crackling Energy, you gain 4 mana. That's going to get your mana up to 12 with 3 points. That's going to get your mana really under control. This unlocks the ultimate. So you want to take Unstable Currents. This is just crazy damage. We have so much synergy with getting this back off cooldown and then this triggering different things. And it's just an amazing ability in this build, and it comes off cooldown really fast. And then you want to take increased attack speed while active. And then while Unstable Currents is active, Crackling Energy pulses 25% faster and costs no charges. This kind of brings the build together, which is why we go down here as fast as possible and get that done. The build is now, I would say, online. This is when it's going to start feeling good, you know, 28 points in. This is when it's going to start feeling really, really good. Then I would start just putting points into here. So you can pretty much like cap this whole circle out, really. I honestly would just start beefing it all out. As soon as you unlock this, I would go down and I would grab this. Overflowing Energy. Crackling Energy hits 1 additional enemy each time it hits an enemy. Your shock skill cooldowns are reduced by 0.1 seconds, increased to 0.25 against elites. This is good because you're bringing everything back online. You're bringing your teleport back online. You're bringing your ultimate back online. This just really speeds it up. This isn't just about high damage. This is about speed, movement speed, attack speed, getting your abilities back faster. Everything is fast, responsive. You're not super defensive. You haven't got a ton of health. You're just fast. And this is a fast leveling build, and this really does just solidify that speed. Now I would just go and it's kind of just getting all your old passives. So I would fill out this whole bar here. I would honestly just take everything here. It's all good. Damage reduction, shock skills have a chance to stun, and then movement speed, 9% increased movement speed for 3 seconds. So I would get all that, and then I would work back up and I would fill this out here. Every time you stun an enemy, you deal damage to them. I would grab this. I would backtrack up to here and get these two. So you want to put 1 point in here to unlock these. Every time you spend 100 mana, get damage reduction. And then using a cooldown gives you a barrier. I would get those because they're just really worth the points. And we do need the defensives. Then I would go into here. You deal increased damage, but take more damage. Glass Cannon. I think this is an incredible ability. It fits this build perfectly because it is a Glass Cannon speedy build. I've even got 2 from my items on this. So you would max that. And then you want to work your way back up to the top. And you want to take Elemental Dominance. So you want to put a point into here, and then you want to max out Elemental Dominance. That's how I'd run this. If you've got extra points, you know, from Renowned, I'm lazy, I guess. You can I'd put them in here, or you could put them back into there. But yeah, this is the build. I'll link the full thing down below as well, where I'd put level by level. But this is how it's going to look. You kind of only really maxing out Chain Lightning because that's the source of all your damage. The second source of your damage is the ultimate, and everything else is just utility, speed, and setup, and it just works. It really does work. So yeah, that's the skill tree. Then onto the the sorcerer specific thing, the enchantment. The enchantments. A lot of people love fire, and I've made videos in season 1 and on pre-season about how good a fire and lightning or a fire and frost build was. But in this one, I think we just go all electric. I think all electric is the way to go. So we're not double dipping into different things. I think electric is the one. And with the changes to Crackling Energy, it's really worth just going all in on Crackling Energy. I think this is good. Spark, increased chance to form Crackling Energy. And then I would get Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning forms automatically after spending 100 mana, and we 5 out of 5'd it, more if you've got items. So this is a big damage dealer. It also forms Crackling Energy, so really good, increases crit. It's just huge. I would do this one. There's other things you could take here. You know, you could take this, absorbing Crackling Energy is a 10% chance to conjure a Lightning Spear. Again, if you're going to go with this, I would 5 out of 5 Lightning Spear and pull some points out of passives, because if you do like Lightning Spear, it is really good. I personally I just don't like it. I don't know why. I think it's okay, but I just can't justify 5 out of 5 in it. But if you do, this is really probably worth taking over Spark. And the only other thing would be Meteor. Fireball. Where's Fireball? We don't have it. But if you were to take Fireball, 1 point in Fireball, when you kill an enemy, they explode in a Fireball for 50% of their damage. That's also a really good one to have just for huge burst, as this is a big AoE build for leveling. So yeah, they kind of like your 2 extra options, Fireball or Lightning Spear. But I personally like Spark and Chain Lightning. And that's most of the build, really. The only thing left to talk about is the vampire stuff and kind of bring it all together. So here's the full breakdown that I'll link down below. This is the full page. You know, it's got the skill tree, the full leveling point by point where I'd put everything. It's got where I'd put each piece. Obviously, certain pieces aren't needed. It's just mostly codex things here. So this should be quite easy to build out. Certain gems you can take. And then what I do want to talk about is the vampire stuff. So this is where we want to talk about the new Season 2 abilities. So the first ones I'll be looking for is Domination. You deal 24% increased damage to enemies who are stunned, immobilized, frozen, or feared. And you're going to notice there, we stun them, we freeze them. So, you know, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. It's basically like the aspect of control. It's what we get from that. I think it's the aspect of control. Is that right? Aspect of control? Yeah. Yeah, more damage to immobilize, stunned, or frozen enemies. Yeah, it's basically the same as that. So it's an extra 25% damage, and we're going to have everything frozen and everything stunned a lot of the time. Then we go for the Hectic. For every 5 basic skills you cast, one of your active cooldowns is reduced by 2 seconds. The reason this is such a good pick is because of our ultimate. Our ultimate is a huge damage dealer, and we have a lot of things that bring our cooldown down. Our key passive brings our cooldowns down. So this is amazing. Every time you spark, that cooldown's coming down again. You're going to realize that your ultimate is back online a lot faster than you might have seen in the other seasons. If you built out like a crazy endgame build, you would have got crazy cooldown reduction, but you get really good here early on. Then I'd go for Prey on the Weak. You deal 16% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. Enemies are vulnerable while afflicted by Vampiric Curse or the Vampiric powers. But this is really good because a couple of things do make enemies vulnerable in this build, so it's just a passive damage increase. I've not fully tested these out, like at endgame, you know, this is a leveling build, so that this, if any changes, this would be one that may be worth changing. This is the only one which I'm like, maybe there's a better version, but let me know in the comments if there's something you'd swap this out for. Then I'd go for Anticipation. Your ultimate skills gain 20% cooldown reduction. Your ultimate skills gain 12% increased damage for each nearby enemy afflicted by your damage over time effects. Don't worry about that, because we're getting 20% cooldown reduction. This is when you see everything going on screen, like I showed in the intro, all the electric flying out everywhere, all the huge crazy lightning balls going everywhere. Because when you use the ultimate, it's not just the skills on your hotbar that come out, it's everything. So lightning spears, energy balls, everything comes out. And you'll be surprised how often that is up. You're going to be casting that constantly. Then I go for Infection. Hit enemies with direct damage, inflicts them with pox. Inflicting pox 8 times on enemies, expunges their infection, dealing 70% poison damage. The reason this is so good is because we hit a lot of enemies all the time. Crackling Energy is pulsing constantly on enemies. Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning's constantly pulsing on all the different enemies. So we're actually hitting those 8 things a lot. So yeah, that's a really, really good one. And they're the vampire abilities I'd go for. That's the build, really. I don't think we need to go into any more detail, really. It's a leveling build. There's no point going deep into the Paragon board here. I can make an end game one. You know, it's day 1 of the season, day 2 of the season or something. So, you know, we're not there yet, but for a leveling build, I think this is everything. Is there anything else you want to know, or you have any questions? Let me know down below in the comments. But I think this should be a good start. You should breeze to 50 with this. It's going to be incredibly fast. Hopefully you have as much fun with it as I have, because this is really, really good. So yeah, that's the build. I'll link it all down below. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. And subscribe for more. I make a lot of builds. I'm going to be pushing more and more builds as well for season 2. So yeah, if you want to see more, subscribe, and they'll be in your recommended as soon as they come out. Did one yesterday for what was it? It was a Necromancer, Blood Summoner leveling build. There'll be one tomorrow or the next day as well, maybe for Druid or Rogue. So yeah, there's going to be a lot coming out. So subscribe for more. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one.